Hello and welcome to the Marty and Tavi show, where we are coming to you live, and it's all about celebrating women. We just have this candid conversation. We encourage everyone that is listening in to join in the dialogue. If you hear something that you want to comment, if I see it, we will definitely discuss it. So again, thank you for joining the Marty and Tavi show.
Hello, everyone.
I'm gonna hand it over to Marty now.
Girl. Hello, everyone. Today is basically open forum day, and we're going to stick with the theme of education. And because we're going back to school, and so we decided today we're going to discuss education malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you guys who don't know what it is, I say look in any inner city. They probably got a high school diploma and nothing above that to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient. And we have to get honest with what they legislate us to be the working poor. So, what you say, Taffy?
Well, be honest. I mean, I don't think we need to be honest about it. I think we already been being honest about it. I think they just need to listen. I mean, it can't get no more honest than what people are all around this country advocating for.
Right.
It's a matter of now figuring out how to get them to listen. And so, what I've seen is one little dog in a corner barking, don't scare nobody.
Right.
And so, if you don't gather the people, organize and mobilize the people, then you have no power. Unless you got some money to dangle around it, and that's another story.
Right.
But overall, our education system, I see it just I don't understand, and maybe I'm just like a business person, but I don't understand how we can't just duplicate whatever is a good school and duplicate it no matter what. Just
We
like how
can.
no matter like a McDonald's in the hood, I mean it might be a little different, but not that much different. I mean, things get away with it in the hood, but overall, a McDonald's is a McDonald's in the hood or in some affluent neighborhood. And I just don't understand our schools and all this funding push. It's just to me, it's all monopoly. It's just sickening, and it's just like it's time for common sense people that have been sitting in the corners, collecting their check or whatever, to rise up and start
Right.
making things make sense, because it's so many people up front leading that's not making sense. And we need people to make sense, and we need stuff. It's no way this great country should have these failing schools like that.
Right.
No way.
Well, I guess, since we basically invented everything and we made everything, they have no need for us. Okay.
I
Because
won't say we made everything, but we
99.9% was
we
we
definitely
made.
did. We definitely contribute a lot. We
Right.
definitely contribute a lot.
So in that, America have no need of us anymore. That they didn't capitalize off of what we've done and
Mm-hmm.
ran with it. Okay. And we help them out every time we spending. We help them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to education, I just I know if our kids really understood their history, they would just run real quick because they have access now. But
Mm-hmm. But they
they're not
running
using.
anyway without understanding their history, honestly. And
I
that's
hear
the
you.
issue. I said they're running anyway without understanding their history.
Right.
And that's the issue, because that's like running like a chicken with his head cut off. And
So
so
they running.
but they need some direction. And that's
Look,
where what you and I are doing multiplied by another million will be good.
right. Most
That
definitely.
so they
Yeah, I mean,
already.
when you also when you look at like the antiquated curriculum, you know,
Mhm.
our kids are tech savvy. If you're not coming with a TikTok, I mean, our daughter, she'll send me some stuff, and I don't think she's paying attention, but she is. But it's on TikTok. That's how you get them, right? They ain't
Mhm.
finna pick up no book like we used to do. They're just not going to do it. but they're still getting the information. We want them to get the information. We want them to learn. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing it in the 21st century style, and that's tech.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop being afraid, stop forcing this whole antiquated, old ass education on our kids because it ain't working. It's not
Mm-hmm.
working. I mean, they getting up wasting their time and they feel insulted because they're actually ready to soar. But the way the school system is, and they got crazy black parents thinking, how you the most powerful people, but you say you got to do what they say do. That don't make
Mm-hmm.
sense. When your kid is the money, they don't go, they don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that by listening to these rich white people. So yeah, they teaching me a whole lot of stuff about my place as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is sit down and listen to the mass debate. Just, I mean, as in, what my rights, my this, my that, and we act like, we don't have the same rights. I'm listening.
Yeah, I see the mass debate, and I commented on something, and I was saying they don't let there. I don't care how many mass shootings they have. They ain't putting their kids, ain't putting
Do
no
no
metal
metal
detector.
detectors. All of the mass shootings in America have been in white areas. Them damn white kids ain't walking through no metal detectors. And here we are, we ain't seen not a one, and our kids got to be traumatized daily. Even us, we're traumatized walking through those things. I don't like walking through them. I didn't pay
Well,
no attention.
that most of the time they usually give the adults a pass to go around
If
it.
they know you.
Yeah, if you're working there, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes I wouldn't trust that. Because that'd be the day I want to snap.
Okay, so they do or they don't need metal detectors.
I mean, but no.
I mean,
Let's
that's
look
something
at it
deep to
as
think about. I hadn't even, like I said, none of my kids have ever went to a school where they had to walk through metal detectors.
right.
And had I not seen it for myself, I wouldn't have believed that they were there.
Well, I mean, it took me because I was subbing before I had our oldest girl, and it was when she went to the 5th grade, me taking her to her first day, that I stood behind her and said, "I be damn, I am literally." And then not only she gonna walk through, she gotta raise out her hand, and you gonna do this wand, invade her space too. That was
And
just
then
too
go
much for me.
all through their book bag, right?
Yeah, that was a little much for me. It's like,
Is,
no,
is that the same routine they do with prisoners?
yeah, yeah, exactly. They do that to prisoners,
So
right? But as parents, we allow it. We
I
allow
don't
that,
know if we allow it. I
girl. We
I don't
do.
know. I don't know because every parent that's really a parent love their kids, but a lot of them don't understand how to fight against it. It's the issue.
Keep your kids at home like me. Like, oh, they ain't coming back after December.
But then what they gonna do? They gotta go to work.
They can stay at home.
No,
They
they
stay at home
can't.
anyway,
Not single mother. You ain't no single mother. You girl.
but they still can stay at home.
Mm-mm. You
I
gotta
got
go out
time
and
for
make the
school.
money. Somebody gotta take care of the little bookers. So
I heard you.
yeah, but there's other people that do have a possibility that can help create um the spaces and help fill in the gaps that's missing in education, and that's where education advocates like yourself come in at.
Almost
So
definitely.
I can't wait to see you and all these great policies that I know are going to come from you. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that. And like I said, I can't see you. You were front and center last time, girl. I guess it all depends on what day it is. So
Yeah.
okay, so you gonna be back. We need to. I should have brought a guest on here for real. But okay,
Yeah.
so something tragic happened in our community. Obviously, we talked a little bit about it the last show, and so I
Mm-hmm.
want you to go ahead and talk a little bit more. Obviously, you were caught with your son in solidarity of young lady Sabrina Dunnigan, and you have committed to something. So I want you to just kind of share with the audience, what your commitment is and what you see. Obviously, I'm behind your support 100%, but you know, what led you, what made you start, and why you think that it's a need to continue.
When we think of the tragedy of losing the five children, I began to just reflect on parents and mother and the responsibility and a whole lot. And being in Facebook jail, I was reading a lot of just negative, horrible comments about this mother and the tragedy that happened. And as a mother, I don't think it's a, I'm going to say it, black mother that have not left a kid. I don't care if you lock the car door to run in to get gas. You know what I'm saying? You left your kid. Somebody could have broke the window, took the car, or whatever the case may
Now
be.
you got some of them black mothers that both incomes. You got some of them black households where both of them got that $100,000
And
income.
they still left the
So
kid. That daddy make two
if
hundred
they even
thousand
take
and
if
mama
they
make three
even
hundred
take the
thousand. They
kids
left the
with
kid.
them, if they
Huh?
even take the kids with them.
Yeah, right. Even if they take the kids, and we want to act brand new, and there was a time when we had community. We knew the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? We knew everybody on the block. We could say, "Hey, help!" You know what I'm saying? Now you don't know nobody. You don't want to know nobody, and they got us away from our village concept, or whatever. So, um,
So have you ever? I know that you're a lifelong resident of East St. Louis.
mhm.
Um, have you ever saw the village concept working in your lifetime?
Yeah, I grew up in the village concept
So
with
you
the
telling
village
me
concept.
you're telling me in your lifetime you seen a village where it worked, and you also seen it deplete, like disappear and go somewhere?
Yes, when we allowed the infiltration to come in, for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, white teachers and white people, and they broke that um, village up. They started telling us what was toxic, and because we've always had to do things differently. Okay, we had to raise our children differently. So now
So
that
you live this, you watch this happen.
literally, yes, we had the village, the neighbors. You
Did
did
they
this.
move away? Did they move away? Because we always blame them about white people coming.
I'm sorry.
But what happened? Did the black people that was the village move away? Did the village move away, or did it just break?
I A mixture, and as well as older people transition, died off. Yeah, they moved away to white areas. Go figure. So
Well, I mean, I'm in a Facebook group that's saying, encouraging the great mitigation, that people need to come and move back to East St. Louis. It's a good
we
time.
don't want that to come back.
You don't want them to come back, but that's
No,
what
we
the
don't.
well.
No,
What
we
do you
don't.
want?
We want. No, just playing.
So if you
Don't get me
don't,
started.
but for real, if you don't want them to come back, then how is it going to improve? Because it needs
I was
people.
kidding. I don't care what those people do. They probably being ran back.
So,
With that climate of America, they probably being ran back to East St. Louis.
well, it could be. Whew,
Now
excuse
I
me.
don't know, but it would be nice, to have people. I mean, because I tell our professionals, um, white people or white children don't need to see, how upstanding you are, whatever. Our children do. They need to see you being this doctor, this attorney, like we grew up seeing, so we can know it's doable for you. This is the same community, but like myself, when I'm talking to students, they immediately want to tell me to go where white people are. I sound like I want to be white, because they don't associate the success that I'm speaking of with them in this community, and we've done this. This is our fault.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you're accepting that it is the community fault that the community is in has been broken or has been allowed to be broken in the way it's broke now. But you do believe it can be fixed, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, if you want to be.
So then, okay, let's get back on your stand for Miss Dunnigan. Like again, you had this sign. It obviously got some attention and made it in the newspaper. And you have made a commitment to do what from when to when?
Okay, we're choosing to stand out in solidarity and see, speak with
In solidarity to what?
in support of Miss Sabrina Donegan.
Okay.
Um, to let her know that not everyone is bashing her. She's traumatized basically for the rest of her life. But hopefully, I was sharing with you earlier about my conversation with Emmett Till's mom. And in talking to her for a long time, of course, she blamed herself because she sent her baby to Mississippi. Now, it was agreed upon, but looking back over it, she wished she hadn't. And she said she had a choice: wallow in that or basically make something out of that. So, in hopes of standing up for, the couple hours we're there in support and talking to the various cars that stop, hopefully that will start us to, one, get a good conversation going, and then, break those walls down and then
Hmm.
come back together as a community. Because without the women
So
birthing,
this is a so can I safely say this is a component of community building?
yes, it is.
Okay.
And
And we're calling it love sessions is what what I've seen because we had some good love sessions and we had some
that's something you want to
so
shoot.
yeah, so and all you can really do is say love conquers all, because this is a situation that has hurt the Metro East as a
Right.
whole. I mean, you saw where the young lady, well, not young lady, it was an older lady, came 70 years old, saying she was checking on the balloon she brought some days ago,
Yeah.
trying to see if she need to refresh it.
Uh-huh.
So, people are hurting. People are mourning. I had a friend tell me today her nephew, 2 years old. They're watching this TV. Oh, asking his mom, can you take me to see where them kids, because it's touched little kids.
Yeah.
Like it's relatable to them. Like with a fire, the kids understand fire, and they're like, oh
They
well,
understand
kids,
how
yeah, and so they're
and
like,
people also have brought their children by to, I guess, show them just how real this is, But I look at it like this whole community is like a fire to me. You know what I'm saying? These kids live it every day. You know
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It may not look like that, not to take away from that, but as a teacher on a daily
Well, it's
basis,
tragedies happening
yeah,
all around the
every day.
communities,
Yeah.
but this is one of the tragedies. Although it's so many tragedies that's happening and has been happening, this is the one tragedy where a lot of people that would normally show to come pay respects to this tragedy are coming, and they're coming from all over. They're not
Yeah.
just coming just from East St. Louis to East St. Louis, but pretty much anyone that this story has reached, I'm sure has, paid a visit to pay their respects
Right.
because
And
it's sad.
it's
It's
it's a
children.
it's a nice thing to see because as we stand out there, you see little kids come with their teddy bears and everything. But see, on a daily basis, I have to hear our colleagues not
Mm,
not grasp the fact that this might be an impoverished area, but we've always had compassion. We've always had sympathy. We ain't got no money. It's not equatable. And that's what I try to to get over to my fellow teachers who are white. When our kids come, they're just amazed that they're able to share, and because they're not used to doing it at no age level, economic
mm-hmm.
level. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's a beautiful thing, to see the babies come up there. I mean, one young lady had some little butterfly that she made, And it's the compassion and the empathy that they're showing that
Hmm.
don't get on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Put that on the camera, please. So
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing how people are still bringing. Because I thought they wouldn't, but they're coming. They're
yeah,
still
they're still
coming and
coming out.
study bringing, and hopefully somebody will be able to manage that memorial that's being built, because that's a huge memorial.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I seen Lion King in there somewhere one day. I was like, oh wow, they got somebody put a Lion King. It's a pretty
Yeah,
cool
they
little
got
bird.
mermaid, they got everybody. The Elmo in there, everybody.
Yeah.
They just taking their little teddy bears. I mean, and it's cool to see the little bitty kids, with their teddy bears. It's like, oh,
But that's just a community coming in love, and I want to just see that continue on. We're gonna
right.
be standing out there until September 11th from 7 to 8:30. So anyone watching that haven't been, this will be an avenue. If you're not familiar with 29th Street and you kind of leery about going because you're just not familiar, you may be a little disconnected. We're definitely gonna be out there weekdays 7 to 8:30. So that would be a great time if you want to come pay your respects and bring a teddy bear or a bear or anything, or come stand with us and solidarity of the mom if you understand her story and you want to stand with her and show your solidarity. That would be the time. So we're opening, we're creating a platform for people to be able to join in. Nothing big, is no programming or anything like that. It's just us standing and trying to love, because right now that's all we got. Everybody's hurting.
Yeah. You mentioned something about not standing in solidarity, but just the community rising up, and the whole why. And my reasoning why is we see all the time a white mother will get the sympathy, she will get the empathy, she will get the notoriety. They'll start a GoFundMe account. And she's did the exact same thing. We
Now
do
she does
this.
have a GoFundMe that started with just I think a goal of $5,000 or $6,000, and last time I looked at it, it was up to 14,000. So
Okay.
people are supporting. It's pretty decent.
Okay. Which is good. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But the whole hearing about charging, I just see the difference in how the law enforcement laws work for us
Hmm.
versus others. And last time I checked, we're in America. So
Hmm.
it's gonna take black women to rise up and act like we're in America.
Hmm.
Because these many different laws, Dr. King talked about this 60 years ago.
Hmm.
It's two Americas. I'm tired of two Americas.
It
Well,
might be more than two Americas, to be honest.
no, it's seven Americas.
Mhm.
I did a
Seven?
piece. I did a piece on seven Americas.
No, enlighten me. What's seven Americas?
Girl,
How would that look?
I got to run them down till you Google them. I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't give it to you.
So if I Google Morshada
No,
seven
no, no,
Americas,
not Google. Facebook. I'm
Facebook
sorry.
Morshada seven Americas, I'm gonna find seven Americas.
You should. Yeah, yeah, you should.
But you gotta tell me off the top of your head.
There are rules and laws for the 1%. There are
Mm-hmm.
rules and laws for affluent whites. There
Mm-hmm.
are rules and laws for middle class whites. There are rules and laws for poor whites. There are rules and laws for affluent minorities. There are rules and laws for minorities. And then there are rules and laws for blacks.
For blacks, they
We
don't get.
we don't get the
They don't get.
affluent. We don't get the rich. We don't get the affluent. We don't get the middle class, and we don't get the poor. They're across the board for blacks. Everybody else, we'll give you a benefit of the doubt.
Mm.
So that's how the seven, to me, that's how they work in this country. The seven Americas. And
So
go ahead.
I'm just thinking. Okay, yeah, I think I want to skip that because you kind of like got me.
Oh no, I just read today about Donald Trump's what is it? Obituary. What's that? Political obituary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready to work that one. I'm gonna teach him how he. I'm teaching how he feel. But if it's gonna be his political obituary, it needs to be America's obituary. That's right.
Why? I ain't told you about Trump. Matter of fact, his son keep texting me talking about I didn't pay something. I'm like, dang, when did I get on y'all list? Like, it's kind of rude.
No, he not, girl.
It's like I'll see the text. I'm like, it'd be like it's like delinquent. Okay,
How
yeah.
they keeping tabs on people delinquency and they can't his daddy Trump delinquent on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, bye.
That text message I did before the show, it's a response to it, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
Mm.
What
So
I don't know. What I mean, when you just think of, the malpractice, I think our kids need to be a lot more engaged in what's going on than they are. They should have a voice in what's going on. They don't,
mm-hmm.
and if you follow me, I can't make you understand it, but you're gonna be on my page. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't have students on my page. Cause that shit you giving them in the schools, that ain't working. And then they bringing this back into our communities. And it ain't a East St. Louis thing. It's a poor Black community thing. Quit and just enlighten our kids so they can help us all quickly.
Yeah, and they got money now. So do you know what the school district has planned to do with the extra money that they have?
Steal it.
They gotta have some kind of plans to be
They never
able.
have plans. This is like one of the highest paid districts. They never have plans.
So we really need to pull those them women together quickly so we can advocate.
The Black mamas could get whatever in the hell they want. Whatever they want.
But if they were together.
Exactly. Half of them, they still praying that they want to do politics. It's crazy when your whole life is political. I don't get it. So I guess they contend with everybody else making decisions of your life. That's crazy. I don't want that for our kids.
Okay, and so we get ready to advocate for some policies. I do like the fact that some of the Parents United for Change did show up
Yes.
earlier this week. So
Thank
they'll
you.
be great partners to work with in whatever alliances that they have. But really, seriously, mean what we're talking about with making things better for
Yeah.
District 189. And see some of those things coming to fruition instead of us knowing what needs to happen and then it not happening. Um,
Right.
so yeah. So Angela Nelson just said great job. But
Hi, Angie.
yeah, and so with all that being said, right now I feel like out of this month venture is going to come some of those people that you will need to be able to push for these policies that need to like came here yesterday. And it's just a matter of copying other districts and different things as well, policies that they've already implemented that needs to be implemented in East St. Louis. Is that correct? What could
Yeah.
you say that? Could you
Yeah.
say that the solutions are somewhere already? We just got to copy it.
Well, I wouldn't really say copy anything. I mean, but because we unique. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh my God! That champion came up quick. Champs don't copy anything. Okay, that's fine. Creative.
that's right. I came from Lincoln. I ain't come from East Side. East Side be copying shit.
See, you
We
know
we
what?
original. We originals.
I never made it to neither one. I got to Lansdowne and got shipped on out with the whites.
Shit, lucky you. Well, no wonder. No, but
Oh really? That's okay. You know what? Some of my white friends will stand up quicker for me than some of my black
yeah,
friends. To
they
be
always
honest,
stand up quicker
you know.
until they feel like they shit getting touched. Then it's a problem. Then they go in that voting booth and they're no longer your friend. because them the ones that vote and keep that crap in place. Girl, don't talk to me about them. We ain't talking about them. We're talking about black mothers, please. Thank you. Love you. I want I
You
want to
say
talk about my black mothers.
so. You said I'll make you go there. Okay.
Right. On camera. You know my
Well, we
ass.
talking about black folks. We're talking about also, education malpractice. What we see, what I really want to see that I don't see no one else pushing. That I really want to push just from me talking to some of the head psychiatrists and different people that understand the mental health as it relates to school, and they always go quiet on me on my questioning when it comes to PTSD. I really want us to acknowledge these communities for the PTSD that
If
is
if we hold
undiagnosed.
on, wait. If we do that, because remember we was discussing, if we do that, that'll take away from law enforcement. That'll take away
But
from
it
the.
don't matter.
Hold on,
You just said they can get anything if we get them together and they
hold
advocate
on,
for it.
hold on, because that's why the school to prison pipeline is in place. That they ain't gonna address it. Because they would have been addressing. They know our babies are legislated. I'm going to keep saying it. Legislated PTSD and all of this trauma. It's legislated. And it is profitable. So why would I F up what's profitable to make it right?
Well, we all know that. We already know poverty is $1 billion business. They're just gonna have to make a profit off of something else, just not our children. Like, not you got to acknowledge, just like they had to acknowledge that racism still is here. They're going to have to acknowledge that PTSD plays a huge, huge,
Huge.
huge part in all of this as it relates to
And
our communities.
and I wish more black teachers who are trauma filled and very much so trauma informed speak up and speak out. I mean, because to put this weight on the black teachers,
Again, it don't mean that they're not speaking out. It just
girl,
don't mean that they're
it's still a
listening.
place. It's still a
I
place.
cannot see, if we know it and if we can see it, I cannot see all the millions and millions of teachers across the country that coming to these school buildings in these impoverished neighborhoods, understanding all the different gun violence to
Right.
any tragedy that's happening consistently that's affecting them. Whatever the nights are like, all the gunfire, like I said, I stayed in East St. Louis for a short time, and my worst nightmare was for a bullet to come through my window. And guess what? A bullet came through my window.
Uh-huh.
That's traumatizing. But because I was so used to the gunfire, I was just numb. I didn't call the police to do anything. So, but think about that as a little kid knowing that a bullet and then it could come through their
Right.
house again. You know,
I think it's traumatizing to every day. The first person you see is law enforcement. I mean, although they're like security guards, well, some are police officers. If that have to be the first thing you see when you come inside of a school building, and then ain't no telling what you saw last night, that's riding you all day. That's riding you all day. And we just did not birth criminals. I'm sorry, America. You have controlled the narrative for so damn long, and it's a lie. Black women don't raise criminals.
mm-hmm.
Now you might withhold some shit that eventually the criminal side coming out. But that's because you withheld what I needed. Not wanted, but needed. And I say that as coming from the angle of a student. Shit, fuck that, me.
Black women do raise criminals, though.
No, we don't. Girl, don't do me.
You ain't watched these little young parents. And I can talk about them because I was one and I didn't do it like that. I had my first at 14. I had 6 by the time I was 22. I had never cussed them out, called them little bees, and just broke them down like that. That I'm seeing these
Okay,
young
so
kids.
let me tell you about that and that language. I learned that basically that's what freedom is. They free to say whatever they want. I mean, I
That's
understand how
killing
it
them.
sounds to us.
Their personality is being shaped all the way up until 9. You don't do that. They can't handle that.
We know that, but not we are being coined as toxic. Oh, that's outdated. That's oh. I'm just telling you what this news found free generation and how they think. Now they don't understand that there were just things that once again we had to do differently. We had to speak differently. We had to move differently. We leaving all of that hard
And you're
conversation
saying
out.
that that was obviously passed down?
What? What was passed down?
I'm sorry, I ended up reading a text message, but
Okay.
um, they they what I'm saying is passed down is what you just said. So um,
Well,
all
I
of
mean,
this is learned.
our older generation equipped us. They readied us. Uh, I think I was sharing with one of the girls, and I was like, "There is no way a child know more than an adult. You just don't. So shut up and listen." Well, this is a
Yeah,
generation.
yes, a child do know more than adult. I used to be that child,
Okay, well,
and I still know more than.
let me tell you this. I'm not gonna take what America dished me out and come home and listen to you tell me something too. That's a little much. That will get you fucked up in our household because we don't we have to move differently. We have to
You
talk
will
different.
fight over that.
Huh?
That'll get somebody. You.
Fucked up. I wish you would talk to me like uh Amy, Bobby, and Becky talk to their mama. And I just came home. Now
So
I don't
you,
live their life.
as somebody who raised half their kids as a black mother, and then the other half as a white mother, where we were living. Anyway,
You got step.
I don't even want to go into code. But as somebody that did that, and I realized that that was a horrible mistake to take away the traditional black mother and try to mimic and imitate what the white
That's just
mothers
not our kids'
allow.
reality.
That's not our kids'
That's
code.
setting them
Yeah,
up.
and that's what I realized. So
Yeah.
at what 14, that's when I decided to say, you know what, my son doesn't have one black friend. We're going to East St. Louis
Right.
and mean it, you know. And they were like, "What? You're not," But overall, it was good. My son was like, "Well, Mama, we have to deal with racism." I was like, "Yeah, it feel good, don't you?" Now we got to deal with what Michael, what Martin Luther King said, characters, and
Yep.
there's some characters in East St. Louis, boy.
Yep.
Great characters though. I had some of the best talks with people warming themselves up at in front of a barrel. You
Mm-hmm.
know, those are the smartest ones, and they see and hear all.
Right. I
And
mean,
so
looking back on it, they say, let's say the shade tree mechanic, he dirty, he got all these cars, he running down the neighborhood. Now look back on it. Don't you wish they was around again? You know what I'm saying? We had that.
where
That was
are the Hey Hays? I've been looking for the Hey Hays. The Hey Hays didn't get no PPP loans enough.
our. You silly.
I'm serious.
I know.
Hey should have got him PPP loan. Hey holds the community down, and I know they were hurting during
Right.
COVID. Come
For
on
real.
now.
I mean, but like I said, that was our community. We had it. I mean, it break my heart to not see Purtles there. We had when they got us away from community, they hit jackpot. They knew our power as
Well,
being.
no, I seen a document back in 2013
Uh-huh.
that they had targeted organizations to align, and
Right.
that's what they did. Catherine Donald was the last one, and I'm almost sure that that is being ceased as we speak. That eventually that was the last targeted organization to make alliance with to be able to control, and that one is going under new leadership now. That's already aligned with that alignment. So
Uh-huh.
they picked and choose what they wanted to say. Hurdles wasn't one of them,
Right.
And so, but what I tell people is Don't worry about what they're doing because they already been making their plans and they've been making them plans for years. What we have to do is get together and make the plans that is needed, and it's gonna be work, but it needs people power. So this community building that we're focusing on, we need to focus on. We need to do it well. We'll be canvassing, being able to have something to pass out where people can keep up with us, and where we can keep up with them. And all of that. And I just see this next 30 days. Like I said, these first 5 days have been great.
Yeah, it has. It
I
has.
couldn't wish for a better interaction than what we've had and all the real stories that we've
All
heard.
of them.
And we the right personalities for all those different personalities to come and talk as well.
Right.
And so I appreciate just the two of us combination out there. Yet alone anyone else that stands with us, like Angela. Oh my God, that was breathtaking,
Yeah, she's
because
refreshing. She's
yeah. And
hilarious.
so I'm just want to see because I know it's other sisters coming. I think it's some brothers coming too. Like I told the brothers, the other night, don't let us do it all by ourselves. Y'all see we out here. Why is it always just us?
Hmm.
We got you.
Well,
Just
I
stand
mean,
behind us at least if you're scared of them. Like I'll protect you, but stand. Dang, all them dang on muscles for nothing. I'm serious. You laughing? I'm so serious because men are supposed to be our protectors. And then, come on now. The queens have always led and ruled in African civilizations.
right.
But dang, warriors, boy, y'all,
We the
we gotta
warriors.
all do
We
our
the warriors
part.
now.
We can't do it all. I don't want to do it all. These brothers gonna have to stand up. Seriously. Angela laughing. She bugging her. She got crying faces.
Actually, don't
So
laugh at us.
no, and I'm serious. So I'm trying to raise these brothers up too. Like I said, I got a gift with the brothers. This is a challenge, pulling the sisters together because usually sisters come with a lot of stuff.
Nonsense.
So no, I won't call it nonsense, but
I will.
girls, females got female things, and I got a lot of sisters myself, so I've seen a lot, and I haven't, just been that girly girl type to, I guess behave in the same way. I ain't in all those different organizations and affiliations, and
Right.
you gotta all that stuff. I'm just living, and I enjoy the way that I live. I enjoy the circle that I have, and so this is a sacrifice to reach out even further and say, hey, we know that we can't have a clique. A clique will never work. So you got to build from the
Not with
inside
me.
out. And you gotta, yeah, you got a community build though. It's
Right.
work. It's work. It's somebody else getting the money that said that they're doing it already, I'm sure. But that's
Uh-huh.
okay because what I said to somebody earlier today, I said, we're community building. We're building the relationships. Eventually, if we have the people and
Uh-huh.
there's people getting money that say that they have the people and we have the people, that money can't do anything but come back around to the people is what I see it. So it's just a matter of trying to reverse some things and getting it to do what it really needs to do. And again, we have not been great accountability partners.
Right.
Um and that's why things have went on how it did. And then again, everybody don't have a gift to talk to everybody. Because I'm even finding out like, certain blocks don't know each other, but you live and you do the same thing with each other every day, and you can't tell me who your next door neighbor is. That's an
Right.
issue,
Yeah.
and
But
so
I when you look at that right there, what you just said, um, when the pandemic first happened, because them other folks, they have this thing with going around the corner. If you at the grocery store, instead of
hmm
coming past you saying excuse me, they'll go around the corner. And I looked at it, and I wrote a piece about it. I said, you know something, this is exactly how white people are. They don't want to touch you. Because we are relational people. We might go off, but we're gonna
hmm
come and show up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be there.
hmm
And during this whole year and a half or so, you get a chance to see white folks on steroids. Because this is exactly how. emotionalist, and to sit back and see like your loved ones from a distance. You can't
Mhm.
get close to them, you can't visit. It's like, oh, but it's right up there out,
Mhm.
and this, I mean, we still coming together, no matter what. And I'm like you. This right here in this community at this moment, this should be our moment of reckoning as Black
Mhm.
women.
Well, this is the one tragedy that we can pretty much get everyone to come around. And then again, I talked to some of my friends that sitting comfortable with 200,000 plus incomes that can't even can't even process some things, and I'm just
They could process. They just choose to act like they're detached. They could process. That's just like it's just like saying, whites don't know this, that, and the other. Girl, bye. This
Angela
benefits
said,
them.
yeah, them K's something else. What's the K's? She said that to you, the last conversation you just said. K's. I don't know what K's
Oh, okay.
are. But
Can I share something that I wrote?
I don't care.
I guess that was a yes.
I mean, you asking my permission for your show?
No, this your show.
No, this is the Marty and Taffy show, so you can do whatever you want to do on your show. I can't stop you from doing anything.
Okay, so because one, I write. I really don't recite what I write,
She
and I
said
don't.
Karens. She said Karens.
Right. Hey, I got a shirt coming too about Kerns and the baby Kerns that's coming up. But anyway, it says mothers of the movement. And I was inspired to write this when there was a picture of like Trayvon Martin's mom and all of the mothers. And I
Hmm.
thought about like you was just saying, a sorority. And instead of sorority, I said sorority, like sorrow. And I said Rosa Parks was coined the mother of the civil rights movement. Today, our mothers of the movement are women thrust into a sorority and become line sisters without their permission. Black moms rehearse this ritual that is all too familiar to Black moms' lived experiences. Mothers of the movement are women who understand that on the couch, in the house, detached, silent, God, praying were not things that would change nor dismantle this racist ass system. They took their pain and found their purpose. They took their life's lemons and created lemonade for all to enjoy. They began to create and invent. They did and do what we Black women have always did and done: mothering, nurturing, healing, pouring from empty vessels, showing up empty and leaving an overflow, planted shade and ripe fruit trees. Today's mothers of the movement led in educating, exposing, empowering, brutal conversation facilitating, relationship building, community reigniting, renewing the ignorant and novice minds. These things are all key ingredients to the full course meal of a better world for our future. And this right here is hopefully and prayerfully what will come to fruition of us uniting on 29th Street. That sounds crazy, don't it? Does it sound crazy?
Mina just joined us. She said real life spark.
Real life's work, right? So
So yeah, I mean, every time I read something you write, I'm like, dang, why she ain't just blown up off of all this writing, man? Like you
I
so
write for my
deep.
sanity. Now I might not spell worth nothing, but I know how to get it out.
I know. That's why I'm like, you got all them words. 'Cause I try to minimize my words, and I'm a speech major.
I ain't minimizing nothing. I'm using all my words. I'm gonna add some too.
So I mean, the speech classes is what caused me to minimize everything. I think, and I guess compartmentalize. So they say, oh, you don't need to say all that because, and then so they beat me down and took it all away. I guess because now I do short and sweet. Oh,
Girl, I was in Dr. Eugene Redmond class.
Mina said, "No, it don't sound crazy. You doing shit." So,
Hey, man. And he told me I couldn't write. I told him this was before I knew that he was Dr. Eugene Redmond, right?
wait. Doctor Eugene Redmond told you you can't write. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm listening.
And I had taken his, I don't know if it was a journalism class. I took something from SIUE. I got my little ass up. I said, I can't write to you, but what I write is good enough for me. I dropped that shit so quick. And then I realized I saw him again. I was like, that's that man. And then I realized, oh, that's Dr. Redmond. I ain't give no fucks. I love you, Treasure. If you listening, I love you, girl. But I ain't getting no
I
fucks
was
about
sending
your
this
daddy how
directly
you feel
to
about me,
Treasure.
right? I ain't writing for him.
I'm sending directly to Treasure too.
Yeah. I gave her a shout out, but I
We
ain't
need to
getting no
bring
damn how
Treasure.
he
We
feel.
need to
He ain't
bring
gonna tell me
Treasure
I
on the.
can't write. Huh?
We need to bring Treasure on the show, even though she was talking about somebody ain't paying her since the pandemic and saying that like, people slick and getting free this and that because of the pandemic. So you coming on these shows without being paid. We're gonna get her to still come without
And not
being
be
paid
paid.
because she's like, we poor too, girl. Gone.
Right. So
So
poor people speaking into poor people's lives.
but I like Treasure because Treasure live her life free. I love the free that she exemplify on social media. You know.
Anyway,
Anyway, moving right along. So again, this was about the education malpractice, about just thinking about things. And again, we all know the power is going to come into the parents that is going to bring the change that we need. And
oh,
so you're working to have your 25 parents for your parent group, right? For Projects to Pinnacle.
I that's what I'm working on.
And with community building now, they're gonna come. Believe me, they love people love you, Marty. You're just a breath of fresh air for
um
so many people that is thinking a lot of the stuff that you talk out loud. You liberate others. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
if you living it and you ain't, really living, we're basically existing. And we have been existing for a long time in this country. Like, damn, black
Well,
women.
Maya Angelou said that some people live and some people just age,
Right.
and that's the truth. And
Well,
I
after these
know a
couple
lot of the people close to me are just aging because they ain't living worth the crap. I got some boring people attached to me. I love them though. They moral people, but they boring.
what I mean, I guess I'm getting stuck at when I start looking back over these, let's say 4 elections or so, and how we black women can shift the whole country. But after that, we done. I'm like, cause I mean, things should be totally different for us. If we haven't really gotten our power as of yet, I mean, come on, like serious. So we just gonna continue to
We
bubble?
do have our power, but when
No,
we
I
get it,
mean
no,
utilizing it collectively.
we we when we collectively do something, we also allow it to be distorted. That's the issue.
Right.
We take it, we have a power, and then somebody come and say, "Well, you know what? You just do it this way," and then it be nothing again.
Yep.
And so they distort it, and we allow it. Our leaders, we have such the leaders allow it because that's who we entrust to be at the table, and then they get at that table, and then they allow it to be distorted, and then the movement is no
It
good.
dies off. Yeah.
And the people are disgusted, they're discouraged, they're loss of hope. So again, not many do it from the inside out. If you look at all the movements that's happened from the inside out, they've been successful.
Right.
They could
Right.
not be successful because there wasn't begging for an opportunity to do things. They just started doing shit. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where I want to see us just we just do it.
Right.
Just do it. Whoever willing to do it with us, just do it. Where is there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people started with visions and didn't have no money, and
Right.
then somehow still was able to access what they need to access to get where they wanted to go. And that's what I'm determined to do, without selling our people out or going the other way that I know is not going to ever work.
Right.
And so I'm committed to trying to do it differently. I only have a role in this. I said to you earlier. The world's problems is God's problems, and we only have roles in it. And if I'm over in your lane trying to manage your lane,
Uh-huh.
you know, who the fuck is managing mine?
Right.
So I can't be out of my lane all up in yours, but I can, if I can assist in some way. I don't know how, but I mean I can tell you, hey girl, you moving out of your lane, you better get back, straighten up. I can do that,
Uh-huh.
and so that's all we can do. And then we can't take everything personal because, I ain't gonna lie. The people I thought was gonna show up the first day, they said they were, they didn't, had one definitely said it was the rain. But others, when I started to talk to them
Uh-huh.
other middle class people, literally, because I was kind of avoiding it. I'm like, okay, surely they know the saying with his sister. And then when I actually had real conversations, I had to go repent. I
Why?
had to go repent. It just
Why?
felt dirty. The conversations felt dirty. And that showed me then that we got some deep conditioning in our middle class people.
Uh-huh.
Some deep conditioning. Just that article that I sent to you. I sent it to a couple of people because I know that they are well-to-do people, and they, I don't know if they read. I hope they read. But
I
the
don't know.
thing, the context that they pulled out of it when I sent it, and I'm like, did you read the article? Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this, and that? And they were just ready to crucify
I'm
the
like, no.
mother. I
I'm
said,
like,
did
no.
you see that they're still waiting on the state fire marshal report?
Uh-huh.
Well, no, I mean,
Still?
you don't even know what happened, but I'm just talking about with her. Get past that. Get
Uh-huh.
past that. Start loving a little bit. I want to know what happened. What caused the fire?
Uh-huh.
I said, you can't tell me no black person, that have lived amongst other blacks can tell me that they have never heard of a parent leaving for a little while or kids coming home early and being there for a little while or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So get past that. That's not an abnormal for real.
Right.
But read everything, read all everything. And I'm encouraging people to read and think for themselves instead of just participating in whatever group conversation that they hear and then repeating it and spinning some crap around. But I'm happy to know by standing on that corner
Uh-huh.
that I'm not just subjected to talking to those people, and that we are out there with the people that have been that was there, that is hurting, all around, that still have to live there, still have to pass there, still have to remember that,
Uh-huh.
and understand, the different things within the community that is wrong, that need to be corrected. And so I just want to see people stand up for that, and we really start making some change. I'm gonna get too deep into what conversations we heard because I really want to see that fire report first.
Right.
And then go from there, and encourage everyone that do get to listen to this, because I'm gonna try to send it to a lot of people this time around, because I don't do a good job in sending it. I
Uh-huh.
was, but I need to do better, and I think there's some good commentary, so I'm gonna do better. And you got to do better too, Marty, because you know a lot of people too.
I
So
need to first I can't stay out of Facebook jail.
no, I don't send it through Facebook. I send text messages to people. I send in whatever. I send an email to people, and I've dropped it in my LinkedIn. Just whatever avenue I have where people can at least peek. They might watch it for 3 or 5 minutes, but it's better than them not
At least
watching
they
it
know it
all.
there, huh?
Yeah, at least they know that we're doing it, and we be consistent, and that's how you're gonna build up. But like I said, my little people, they'll look at it a little bit, but they're not as participatory as they are. So I know we got to find some new people. We're gonna pay for some advertising and all that. Obviously, we educated, so we got to work. Well, you just went back ahead of me, but I'll be going back to work next week. School
Right.
starts, and so we'll be able to move some things when our money is flowing like it needs to flow regularly again. So, I'm just happy for being able to stand with a sister as strong as you. I'm just gonna let you know I got mad respect for you. And I can't say that about a lot of people because I can see right through a lot of people. But you
You do.
have stayed your authentic self the entire way through, and I appreciate you for who you are. And that's why I don't mind putting my shoulder next to you and saying, I got you, girl. Because seriously, I'm for real. I feel that Martha Mary connection. I feel that Oprah Gail connection. And I feel that as long as we keep this connection, that we're going to be able to drive forward exactly what we've been working towards for so long. And we're going to get there together. And so, I just, this is the end of our show. We're just a little 33 seconds over the time. So I'm going to let you close it out. I'm not going to say anything else, but I just want to make sure you knew how I do respect you and the walk that you have walked, because you not only walked it, not only talk but you walk it as well. And you're living in a community that is strained, and you're
Right, girl.
still choosing to live there, and you don't have to. So,
Right.
all
Okay. Ditto
right.
all that stuff you said.
I know you don't like compliments, but you
No, I
gotta
know.
start accepting it because
But
you
that's
got a
okay.
lot.
That's okay. I'm
You got
learning
more.
slowly.
You got more fans than what you think you have. It's just a matter of them, doing what they need to do in support of you. But you got more fans than what you think you have.
Well, parents, as far as like the whole education malpractice goes, get behind your good teachers. Get behind your teachers that are your ride or dies. Because I'm totally not against school. I'm a teacher,
Hmm.
but I'm not in support of foolishness. Malcolm X says only a fool will allow the enemy to educate your kids. How many videos do we have to see of them traumatizing or abusing our kids or calling them out their names or whatever the case might be? Our kids are brilliant. They come to school ready.
Hmm.
We need to demand more. I mean, their job is to teach, and we need to start being active and being accessible as well. So, with this being said, we got to get the village back together around our babies. They relying on us adults. Good
All
night.
right. She said we need the villain system. You heard it. Good night. Thank you for subscribing.
All right.